mother is a nurse.
Go.
One day, a farmer named Dioniso Poledo worked in his cornfield. He spotted a crack in the ground. Smoke hissed out of it. The smoke smelled like rotten eggs.
Wow, super. So you see, what did the farmer spot in the ground? Can you click the sentence that shows your answer?
He spotted a crack in the ground.
Nice. And what hissed out of it?
The smoke.
Nice. Click the sentence.
Smoke hissed out of it.
What does the smoke smell like?
The smoke smelled like rotten eggs.
Yes, click the sentence.
The smoke smelled like rotten eggs.
Very nice.
Hello everyone, I'm Rosy. I'm in S2003. Pizza is from Italy. Pizza is made of bread, olives, pepperoni, tomatoes, onions, cheese, and peppers. Bread gives me energy.
Go.
The Little Prince. The Little Prince is one of my favorite books. It is a fairy tale about love and life. It is a pure book, just as pure as the water. As the book said, the water on the heart is beneficial. The Little Prince can make people feel warm.
For this lesson, we're going to focus on two parts. What is the first part?
Genre.
And for the second part is strategy, right? And we're going to learn the fantasy, something about the fantasy. Who can read the question for me? The three questions begin with what, why, and how. And Luis, please.
What is fantasy?
Okay.
Why do authors write fantasy?
Good.
How do we know the top passage of fantasy? Is fantasy.
Thank you. Okay, you got one for your team. And how about next part? We're going to find out who want to read the question for me. Mary?
Why do authors write fantasy?
Or here?
What is the difference between glossary and dictionary?
Good. And?
Why do we use glossary instead of dictionary sometimes?
Good.
How do we decide when to use glossary?
So I just write down G stand for glossary and D stand for dictionary, okay? So today's mission is we're going to find out the answer. Each question's the answer, okay? With yourself, or by yourself, or with some of my help, okay? Now, we're going to focus on the first part. What is it? It's fantasy. You can try to give me the definition of fantasy. Have a try. Leo?
Fantasy is something natural or unreal.
Oh, so you would write down unreal. So what does the prefix un mean? Not. Good job. Okay. Unreal. Anything else? So fantasy. Yeah, later we'll do. I want you to make some prediction. Now this time, Judy Hansen. Does it belong to fiction or non-fiction?
It's fiction.
Yes, it's fiction, right?
I think it's just like personification.
Oh, like personification. Use a lot of personification.
Yeah.
You think so? Excellent job. Okay. So Hansen said we can find a lot of personification in fantasy. Okay? Later we are going to check it out. What are some features of it? Okay? Or how do we know the passage is fantasy? But first let's try to find what is fantasy. It's unreal. Okay? Now let's see.
Get ready to step into a different world. You're going to read an exciting story full of talking goats, winking rocks, mean plants, and many other things you wouldn't find in the real world.
Just know What did it say?
The things you can find in the real world.
The things you cannot find in real world. Okay? What is it?
You're also going to learn when to use a dictionary or a glossary to figure out the meanings of new words. Have you ever heard the word fantasy? A fantasy is something that isn't real. In other words,
What did you hear?
Fantasy.
Okay, Tiger, would you have a try? Give the definition of fantasy. Something. Good job. You can also say unreal, right? Okay, good. Thank you. You got one for your team. Okay, now try to find what?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is that fantasy is like the fairy tales or something?
Yes, good question. So you see, like I said, fantasy also belongs to one kind of fiction. Okay. Now let's see what kind of special fiction it is. Okay. What kind of feature does a fantasy have? Will it just like Hansen said, with a lot of personification, or with a lot of other things in it? You understand my question?
Yes.
What are some features for the fantasy? What does a fantasy have? A lot in it. Okay?
fantasies are imaginary. People read fantasies to take a break from the real world. Fantasy stories are exciting because they take people beyond reality. Anything is possible in a fantasy. You never know what's going to happen next.
Dragon.
The golden egg.
Yeah.
Golden egg.
Dragon.
Okay, just now, what did you hear? Do you know what will happen next?
No.
No.
Can you use one word to describe that?
Nah.
Huh? What are some features?
Golden egg. Noisy things come out.
Noisy things comes out.
Dragon.
Actually, you see, my question is, you see, we never know what's going on, or, what will happen next when you read the fantasy.
Yes.
So we can say it's
No. Unpredictable.
what is it?
Unpredictable.
Yes, good job. So can you define unpredictable? Explain it to everyone else.
Unpredictable is something that you could not know what's happening next. What's gonna happen next?
Good. So you see, un means
Not.
and able, the suffix means able to do something, right? I'm able to talk. I'm able to walk. Be able to do something. Predict means you tell what will happen next. Remember, I always ask you to write
Prediction.
yes, prediction, right? So unpredictable means you don't know, you're not able to tell what will happen next. So who can tell me what is the definition of unpredictable? Mason, did you listen? Have a try here. What is unpredictable?
Unpredictable is you don't know
What? Will.
what will happen next.
Okay, listen carefully. Smart boy. Okay. And now let's see. So we can say fantasy is unreal and the plot is always unpredictable. Okay, you don't know what happened next. Let's see. What's going to happen next?
Chicken. God, chicken. Really, we don't know what happened
What will happen next?
next. Dragon.
People.
Whoa! Now, you didn't see that coming, did you? Authors write fantasies to spark our imagination. They want
Okay, so you see, now here, think it over. What are something else? Why do authors write fantasy?
That we have more
Or something
imagination.
else.
Huh?
Imagination.
Who heard the word? Mary?
I think the author wants to make the story more interesting.
Make the story more interesting.
And let the readers have more imagination.
Yeah, more
Spark their
imagination.
imagination.
What did you say? Apple?
Spark their minds.
Yeah, spark their imagination, right? Spark your imagination. Okay? Spark your imagination. Okay, let's see.
To entertain us by taking us into a different world where anything is possible. Fantasies can't happen in the world as we know it. The characters in a fantasy are often unreal. Fantasy characters.
Okay, just now, another purpose for author to write fantasy. One is spark your imagination. Another thing is to begin with letter E.
Entertain.
To entertain or to entertainment.
Entertain.
Yes. So entertain. Entertain is a verb, right? To entertain people or the reader. So suppose next time, do you want to write a fantasy for your friends?
Yes.
Always make your friends, wow, amazing fantasy, right?
About
Just saying.
About Hogwarts.
Just saying.
What?
Today I have my classmate's birthday party, and his birthday party is usually on the next week's Tuesday, but we didn't have times on the Tuesday, so he put that birthday on today.
And?
I will go to his birthday party at I don't know what time.
Okay.
It's
so,
only over the class, and I will go to it, and I take 2 books to give to him.
So you want to give him the fantasy book?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. How nice of you. Now let's see. And another thing is, now let's focus, let's get back. What is fantasy? Are there some features about characters and setting
I think so.
and plot? Okay. Are there some, features for the characters, in it, or for the settings in the fantasy, or for the plot in the fantasy? Okay, are they very special? For example, the character in a fantasy are always like Shrek. You know Shrek?
No.
Or Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Hogwarts. Or the Lord of Ring. Do you remember that? Leo showed you that one, right? The Lord of Ring. The Ring of Lord or Lord of Ring?
Lord of Ring.
Characters often have special powers.
Okay, just now what did you hear? What are some characters
Special
using?
powers.
That's it, good. So, how special it is for the characters in a fantasy?
Maybe they can
Special
powers. Maybe.
power, okay? Special powers, okay? How about when did the fantasy always happen? Where did this story happen always?
In the past or the future.
In the past
Maybe future.
Yes.
or future, right?
Yeah.
But
Maybe
not now.
maybe a lot of fantasy
be
happen
now.
in the past, right?
Yeah.
And for the science fiction always happen in the future. You agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is it?
Unicorn.
Unicorn, right? Can we always meet unicorn in our real life?
No.
Never?
Except in the book.
Ah,
We can find the horn and put it on a white horse head.
you're great one, unicorn, good. Okay, so what if you want to meet with the real unicorn? Where can you go? Or what can you do? Read a...
Read the fantasy. Go
Good.
into
Thank you, Rosy.
Going to see and watch.
Sure.
Fantasies are often set in the past.
In the past, right?
Wow! Fantasies sure sound exciting. I can't wait to read the fantasy, The Kudzu Invasion. I wonder what a kudzu is. Kudzu? Please pass me the potatoes? Okay, maybe not.
All right. Now let's take a short summary for the things we learned. Okay, guys. Now can you tell me what is fantasy? Why do author write fantasy? How do we know the passage is fantasy? Take a group discussion, and then I want to choose one to answer it. Okay. All right, guys. Ready?
Go. Ready? Action.
So who would give us a short summary for the things we learned just now? Anybody else? Only our Leo? Come on, be brave.
We didn't.
Rosy, have a try.
Give.
Fantasy.
Come over here. Come over here.
Why?
You can just like Justin, okay?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Fantasy is an honor story. Author write fantasies because they want to spark readers' imagination and to entertain us. If there,
How do we know the passage is fantasy?
if there are some, the characters have some special powers, and it happened at the past, and the plot are always unpredictable.
Wow, excellent. Clap for Rosy. Okay, I'll give you 2 points. Okay, just like this, okay? So today, after you go home, I need you to, I will send the email to your daddy and mommy. And then you try to figure out what, how, those questions. You answer it, okay?
Yeah.
You understand?